eating fish low on the food chain, whether it's farm raised or wild, is going to minimize your risk of accumulating these mercury and PCB concerns. You know, fish are what they eat, and depending where fish are on the food chain is going to be the #1 thing you want to look at for mercury and PCB. And that's because as fish eat other fish, these toxins accumulate in fatty tissues. And they frankly do the same thing in your body and my body as well. So eating fish low on the food chain, whether it's farm raised or wild, is going to minimize your risk of accumulating these mercury and PCB concerns. The same goes for plant eating fish. Fish that only eat other plants, so tilapia, catfish, and actually barramundi eats a primarily vegetarian diet. These two, even if they're farm raised, have significantly lower risk associated with mercury and PCB simply because they're not eating on the food chain. When you get to salmon or other big carnivores, then yes, that's where the concern can come in. And it really boils down to the country. Look at your fish counter for country of origin labeling, and just keep in mind that countries have different regulations and qualifications when it comes to what can be in the feed. In my opinion, farm-raised salmon in the United States or in Norway are sort of the gold standard where you're going to have the lowest risk of mercury and PCB contamination. According to the UN recent report ranking fisheries globally, Norway came in #1 with best practices. So again, fish are what they eat, stick low on the food chain. Plant-eating fish, much lower risk, whether farmed or wild. And when you're choosing salmon, look at the United States and Norway first.